Alright, welcome back. Hope you guys are doing well. Now, today I'll take the chance to talk about the wormholes and exploration. Now, in one of the latest Q&As with the developers, they have talked about adding something that is quite similar to wormholes before adding the wormholes, which honestly, when you think about it, it is kind of a little bit confusing, but I expect that to be a new form of Nihilus space, or perhaps they might actually rework the Nihilus space and it might actually start to connect between all the different places throughout the galaxy in the game. But again, I would be mostly excited for the actual wormholes, which I believe that they might release very soon. After all, the anniversary update is around the corner. Now, besides the wormholes, today I'll be flying the Astero. I'll be doing some good old exploration. Now, exploration has been buffed. The sites do spawn a lot more often now, and the loot is actually really good. And this is the loot from one of my last exploration realms that you will see in this video. By the way, I'll be showing you how I got some of these modules, and honestly, like, my total value in the cargo hold 1.16 billion is actually really good. I'm not going to complain about that at all. Now, I am currently located in the middle of nowhere. Actually, I have no idea where I am in the map. Yeah, I'm in some random low-sec system right now. I have been from null to low. I basically crossed the, well, not the entire galaxy, but pretty close to it. Started from Molten Health, I think. Actually, I have no idea where I started from, but I did include a lot of different systems throughout this video. Now, is there a specific system where you should be at? Well, it depends on your time zone. Again, my routes are usually not that planned as they used to be. I pick a random system basically, but the exploration nowadays is really good, and I have encountered quite a bit of traffic in low-sec, so there is a lot of players flying through these systems. And I have also seen some camped systems, which is also interesting. It is something that I thought about doing. Basically, I wanted to camp the exploration sites, but I haven't really had the time to do it. Perhaps I will do it very soon, who knows. Now, for the wormholes, I'm not going to use this Astero. This Astero is not really built for that. It is the old Astero that I have for like 2 years now. One of the first Asteros ever built. Now, this thing is more for the classic type of exploration. It is a bit too expensive for my taste, so it is not really suitable for wormhole space. Let me just show you how much the ship costs for insurance. 2.6 billion, which is honestly quite pricey for a Astero. These ships are a lot cheaper than they used to be back in the day. Back in the day, these things were like 3 to 5 billion ISK. I got this for 3.3 billion, around that number, with the integrations already pre-installed. It has a 4P and 3P integration, which is honestly pretty good, and this rig does cost a lot, so yeah. For wormholes, I think Nestor will be quite popular. Now, the Nestor is one of the craziest ships in the game. It can be a Logi, it can do DPS, it can be a Guardian, it can do everything that you can imagine. Now, the only thing that this ship can do right now is cloak. It cannot fit a Cortops cloaking device. However, I'll make a prediction right now. When they add wormholes, the Nestor will get a Cortops cloaking device, and right now the Nestor is actually not, well, it is quite pricey, let's be real. It's 9.7 billion, but I do expect the price of the Nestor to actually go up when the wormholes are out, because the Nestor has a very small mass and it will not collapse the wormholes if it goes through. It basically has a mass of a battlecruiser or even less, and it's also ridiculously fast, so the Sister of Eve ships will be quite popular when the wormholes are out. And I'm also using a new microphone, so hopefully the audio turns out to be good. Hopefully no more weird noises in the background, or perhaps there might be some new noises because this one is actually, the microphone is actually a bit better than the last one. Well, in any case, now for this little exploration roam, I'll have the classic Astero build that I usually do. The modules, besides the analyzers, are quite cheap, although a Mark V cover-top clocking device and a small armor repair, none of which are C-type, which is kinda ironic. Even the missile launchers are green. Kinda funny that my analyzers cost so much, but the ship itself is quite cheap. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but did they change the range of the analyzers? I feel like I used to have like 13 kilometer range. Now it's 11.84. I haven't touched anything on the scanners. It still has like all skills on level 5. Not really sure what happened there. Perhaps they actually changed it. I don't know. As for the nanocore, I have no nanocore for this thing at the moment. Not really sure if I will get one. If I do get one, it's going to be a nanocore that has actually scan resolution. I might get this one. It does look good. I don't know, but I want a nanocore that can improve the scanner performance of this little bot. Alright, well, I guess it will be time to start with the exploration. Alright, going towards the
warp drive
one of
active.
the best sites that I had in a while. Now you could see that expensive chip that I had in the cargo holds of the Astero, and well, I'll show you how I got that chip. So this is one very interesting data site. Now back a couple months ago, I used to run the Astero exclusively in high sec and in low sec. Occasionally I used to go in null sec, but lately I started to go much more into null sec and into deeper low sec, and that's basically where I stumbled upon this site. And I have to admit, exploration does seem a lot more rewarding now than it used to be couple months ago. If the prices were the same, exploration would be absolutely insane, but the prices did change, so that also the ending result also kind of changed. But in the end, you can still make a lot of ISK with exploration, and so far I've been doing pretty well. I have been also very careful. Now let me open this mainframe. Alright, there we go. And this is where I found that chip. Now that chip is very expensive. It's being used for manufacturing, and I might actually sell it. I'll show the price. 1.1 billion in the cargo hold. That's a lovely value. And we just started with the exploration roam for today. Now, like I mentioned at the start of the video, I want to talk about the wormholes and the potential precursor to the wormholes, which I expect to be a reworked type of Nihilus space. Now this is the chip that I got. 1.24 billion on the market. I made some decent bank today. That's a very good find. It's a very expensive module. If you need this module, well, feel free to contact me. I plan to sell it for 1.2 billion. I am willing to lower the price to 1.1 billion. So if you need the chip, do feel free to contact me in the game.
Warp drive active.
So, wormholes. Now, I know a lot of my friends who come from EVE Online, and they did miss wormholes in this game. So, I'm fairly sure that a lot of players want to have wormholes here. Would allow us to create the wormhole corpse. Now, I personally plan to vanish in a wormhole for a while. I actually plan to do the wormhole survival series, where I plan to stay in the wormhole for as long as possible, and basically I'm leaving the wormhole if my ship gets destroyed or if my cargo hold is full. Now, within the wormholes, I do expect to get some new sites ranging from level 1 to level 5, and perhaps even some new PvE content. Now, I have already guessed for a very long time now that when they release Yang, that it might be tied to wormholes in some way, but that is still up to speculation. However, I'm fairly sure that they will tie Yang somehow within the wormholes, and that's going to be, I would say, a very nice thing to do. Perhaps the Yang shipwrecks or the materials to build these ships will be exclusive only to the wormhole space. Now, in the Q&A, they also talked about that the new type of, I would say, PvE that is kind of similar to wormholes, but at the same time isn't. I call it the precursor to wormholes. Now, what that could be a reworked Nihilus space. I mean, we already have a lot of Nihilus entrances. I forgot how to speak. All over the game, but I've heard that they are not interconnected. Basically, you have one way in and one way out, with the chance of it being connected with a different entrance in a different part of the galaxy. Now, that is not quite wormhole level stuff, because it is kind of a dungeon. You go in and you basically do the stuff that's inside. It's not a whole system, it's just a small pocket of space, which honestly is not that bad. I would say a good precursor to wormholes would be something like that, to open up the Nihilus space to be available, basically to be able to, travel from one space to the other space through the Nihilus entrances that you can find. And honestly, it might help to get players used to such travel, because in wormholes you can't really, if you're lost there, you are done for. Self-destruct your ship, I guess. In this game, I'm not really sure how will they pull it off. There's going to be a lot of lost players inside of the wormholes. That's all that I'm going to say. So if you do decide to go into one, make sure that you stock up on fuel, because you are going to need that fuel. I believe a guide to that is going to be quite useful. Again, I plan to build a Stratios. I think it's going to be a Stratios. It has to be a Sister of Eve ship, and it has to have 4 medium slot modules. Now, what kind of build would I use? Well, depends on what I want to do. I primarily plan to do PvE related stuff in the wormholes. Basically, I plan to run around and do the data sites, or even do some of the other combat PvE that is going to probably be available, since I expect young debris to be available inside of those wormholes. However, I also like to do PvP. I mean, one of my main things on the channel is actually PvP. Not just in Eve, but in other games as well. So I believe having a, what was it called? Not a, the little outpost that you can carry in the cargo hold, basically to change the builds on the go. I forgot how that's called. Excuse me if I excuse me for forgetting how that's called. But you can basically carry that small station in a cargo hold. You can place it in space and change the builds when required. So that would be very important if I decide to stay in the wormhole for a longer period of time, since if I do encounter a player, then I want to be able to engage the player in the wormhole. So that's going to be a mobile tractor. I think it's a mobile tractor unit. Actually, let me Google that real quick, since I don't like when I don't know something. Mobile tractor. Let's see if that's the... Actually, no, it's not. Oh, my apologies. That's used for something else. Hold a second. I know the module. I would be able to find it, but I forgot its name. And yeah, I don't know how that module is called, but I know what it does. So my apologies for that. A little bit of a brain fart moment for me. It happens. Hasn't happened in a while, so it's okay. But yeah, that is going to be a very important module for me if I want to stay in the wormholes for a very long time. It's going to be so fun because you can scan a player, change the building space, and then engage the player, kill the player, and then basically change back to PvE and collect that structure that you post to change the build. That is going to be very, very important. But if we don't get that, and I believe we are not going to have that for a while now, well, at least for a while, I think I might have to go with the Nestor if that happens. And that's going to be very fun, because the Nestor has 5 medium slots. Actually, no, it has 4 medium slots. Oh, it has 4 of them. So the idea that I had in my mind did not work. It's not going to work. So I have to come up with a solution so that I'm both PvE and PvP ready. Since you know you will encounter data sites, relic sites, and you also have to have the blue scanner. The blue scanner would be a necessity in the wormholes, because without a scanner you can't get out, because you have to find the route manually. You have to find the entry point and exit point manually. So that's going to be fun. Which leaves me the 4th slots would probably be a red scanner, because you have to have a red scanner if you are inside the wormholes. If you know, since we don't have a directional scanner, a red scanner is also going to be extremely important inside of the wormhole space. So it's going to be very tough to fit a PvP and PvE ready ship without having the ability to change the builds while you are inside of the wormholes. Now I'll add some, let's say, ideas that might be good, might be bad.
Autopilot
you guys
engaged.
decide. Now my idea would be to leave some,
Warp drive active.
let's say, ruined stations that are dockable in the wormhole space. Basically, they can call them like something along the lines of abandoned ancient stations or something like that. Relics, basically. but you have the ability to dock in them, which might kind of solve the problem of being unable to change the build without the necessary equipment in space. But at the same time, that does kind of take away from the whole Wild West feel of the wormholes. So there is, it might be interesting. I mean, it might be interesting, honestly. The unknown is quite attractive for a lot of players, and honestly, being able to run around and explore that stuff, they could actually add some bit of story and backstory, logs and stuff that might add some more info, or it can assemble a story of what's been happening in that sad system. I mean, there's so many ideas, but primarily I want to focus on that, on the gameplay part of the wormholes, because I believe that they have a chance to do something interesting, and I know it would make a lot of players go in the wormholes, and I believe the first week, the first month is going to be pretty wild. You will encounter a lot of players inside, but as time goes on, it will balance itself out. But I know for a fact that if when wormholes are out, my corp might become a wormhole corp. I haven't really talked about that with I haven't talked about that with the leadership yet, but I believe that they will be quite interested in something like that. I mean, in wormholes you have no local, you have to rely on the scanner, on cloak, so it is going to be very, very interesting, and it does kind of work with what we are doing currently in the game. So I believe and I expect to have a lot of corps in the wormholes. A lot of players will go there, and I expect some new corps will be formed, and a lot of old players will return to the game because of the wormholes. And there is also the drone region. Now the drone region is still closed. When they open that, it's going to be, well, I think it's going to be a big patch. I say it's going to be a big patch. I mean, they released 9 new ships in a span of like 2 weeks. They can release 2 new galaxies within the same time span. I'm quite sure that they will eat out the wormholes and the drone region just like that. So yeah, and since most of you guys probably know how wormholes work, they can spawn literally anywhere, and you can go from one end of the galaxy and basically get out at the other end of the galaxy, which does allow for some very interesting tricks, especially for PvP. So again, all that is honestly very interesting, and I believe it is time for something like that. I mean, we had a lot of stuff in the game, but I feel like Eve is not Eve if it doesn't have wormholes. The wormholes are a big part of the whole Eve universe. Now in EVE Online, I don't really go into wormholes. I don't have much interest in that game. Into wormholes, I don't have much interest in that game. I have interest in the wormholes in EVE Online because it is, it is nothing new. They have been there for over a decade now. So yeah, but they would be something quite new, active, fresh in this game, and it's a fresh start again. A fresh start is always important, and I would say always exciting, because I still remember, and a lot of other players also remember the good old days when the game was very fresh. I mean, the game felt like magic back then, honestly, and it does still feel like magic. But if we get a whole new space, yeah, That is going to be a big expansion, and now I keep saying if. Well, it is not if at this moment. Based on the Q&A that I have seen, and based on what the developers have been doing so far, and based on some other things that I have seen on the test server, I'm fairly sure that the wormholes are very close, and I wouldn't be surprised if they release wormholes alongside the Titans in August. Now, in this month, we should receive a new formative gameplay. Now, the new formative gameplay, I have no idea what it is. It's on the Trello roadmap. Actually, let me quickly take a look at the roadmap, because they might actually have updated something. So I'm doing it in the background here. Iveco's roadmap. Okay. Let's see, July of 2023, new formative gameplay. Now the new formative gameplay is planned for this month, and I don't know what it could be. Now for August anniversary, new dormant and new implant. Now what I find very suspicious, they said at one of the Ask Me Anything events a couple months ago, or a couple weeks ago actually, a couple months ago, I apologize. They said that Titans should make an appearance in August, but it is not stated on the Trello roadmap as of now. In June we have received 9 new ships, and it's stated on the roadmap: June, new ships and Concord Pass. July, new formative gameplay. August, anniversary event, 6th level of Dormant Realm and new implants. Nothing is talking about any new ships. So that kinda does make me wonder if they did push the
Warp drive
Titans back. Although at that event back then at the Ask Me Anything event, they did say that the Titans are planned for the anniversary, and even then the August roadmap here did not have any new ship on August. So not really sure what's happening there. Could be that they just didn't add the ship on the roadmap, but at the same time could be pushed back. So could be coming in September, could also be coming in October. So yeah, we will see what will happen. I mean, August is like a month away, it's around the corner, and we will see what they will do, since we will be following the updates closely. Now I want to focus on that formative gameplay. There is no extra detail on that. I might go and ask the developers for some more info, but probably will be under the non-disclosure agreement. And I'm not the content creator who breaks the NDA. That's someone else. No, that's not me, of course. That's someone else. So if I do find something out, if it's something exciting, you will probably hear the excitement in my voice. So that's one way to, I guess, I guess inform players of what's coming without actually breaking any rule or without actually breaking any NDA. So yeah, that's what I'll probably do. If it's something good, if I
Autopilot
do
engaged.
get some info beforehand, you probably hear
Warp
the
drive active.
excitement in my voice, and then you can start also getting excited about what's coming. But so far, I have no idea what that formative gameplay is. Now, could be wormholes. I'm not saying it will be wormholes, but it could be wormholes. It could be another dungeon like the Nihilus space, which honestly will be good if
Warp drive
it could be okay. It could be good if done properly. If it is similar to wormholes, it might be very fun. And if it's like a space where you can enter some unknown systems, which does kind of look like wormholes but not exactly wormholes, then that also might be interesting because they can add a lot of different PvE stuff there, and PvP stuff can also exist in that space. But again, we will find out what that is. Could also be something totally different, since we did receive the Corp Clash, the Alliance, the Alliance stuff. Not really something that I usually participate in because, well, our Corp is very small. We don't have 300 players like some out there claim. We have like a small amount of players that do their job really well. We don't really need a huge corp. I don't really like to be part of a huge alliance or a huge coalition. I do enjoy the small corp stuff. Honestly, it's what I think it's for me the best in the game. But I do enjoy to watch the big battles. The big battles are always epic to watch. Now the new Sixth of Dormant Realm. Well, that is a very interesting one. I personally believe that it could be related to lightweight ships. Could be related to lightweight ships because the lightweight ships do need to have a implants for them. And I expect in August the randoms will stop working on the lightweight ships and on the carriers. Anniversary events. Well, anniversary events. I expect that to be a whale event as last year and as the year before. If there is something good on the market that's affordable, then I'll probably buy it. But if it's something too expensive, I'll just skip. But we will see. I mean, I did buy the Nanocore recently, a couple weeks ago, I think, and I like it on the RB. So if there is something good, then I'll probably do buy it. And the new implant for next month could be implants for exploration. If there are implants for exploration, I'm definitely getting that. Will be very important. And also, again, as I mentioned before, it could be related to the carriers and to the lightweight ships. And that's basically where the roadmap ends with August. The roadmap will be updated after August for September and basically throughout the next year. So I am quite interested to see what that will bring. So I just wanted to talk about that in this video. I wanted to talk about this for a very long time now, actually, but never had the time to do it. Besides today.
Warp drive active.
So before the video ends here, I'm very curious to know what you guys think about the wormholes and about. I want to hear your ideas, because if you have some good ideas, then I can send those ideas to the developers. And since I know, and I've already confirmed that they do listen when I tell them something, so you can guarantee that your voice and your idea will be heard by the developers. So feel free to tell me in the comments down below what you think about all of the wormhole stuff and all that Nihilus stuff. Also, feel free to tell me your ideas and things that you would like to see for the game, I guess, for the future updates. So with that being said, hope you guys enjoyed. If you want to support me, feel free to like and subscribe. And with that being said, stay safe, fly safe, and as always, I'll see you next time.
Autopilot engaged.